There we go.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad we got to speak again.
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh, but so many things have happened in a year.
Right, right.
You are a part of a major franchise, which is insane. When I saw the news, I'm like, how did I not know? Like, you're good at secrets. But yes, let's get this started. How was the audition process like? And was your character always Haitian and always spoke French?
Yeah, I mean the audition process is just like anything else. It was a self-tape. I remember I remember getting an email from my manager and an agent, and they were just like, yeah, it's an audition for Jurassic World, and I was like, huh? Like it was already because I haven't. It was just such a random time. I think it was like in February or something like that, and I was like, really? And the character was written in French. The lines were in French, but it was not specific as far as where the character's from or anything like that. It was just and also the sides. They were very secretive of the script, so we only got the sides, and it was like just two scenes that I had to do, and they were pretty short and simple. Um, and so I was like, all right, sure, I'll do it. And then months later, closer to when we were about to shoot, which is probably like end of May or early June or something like that, and my manager was like, "Hey, man, they really like you. They really like you, man. They want you to be part." I was like, "Oh, cool, great." And then also in my audition process, my slate, I told them I did it in French and also I did it in Creole,
Mhm.
just to give them a taste. I'm like, "Hey, I could do both ways, just in case." And then and so when he told me that they wanted me, of course I was just like, what? What's happening? And then once I got it, and we didn't get the script till like we got to Thailand. And when I met the director, I had, because with every character that I do, I write a whole biography. I do a whole thing. So I sent it to him, and he was like, nice. And I was like, is there any way I could make him Haitian? And he was like, yeah, yeah, let me talk. He talked to everybody, and everybody agreed, which was cool. The fact that he asked everybody, and Spielberg had to sign off on it, which is kind of cool. So I was like, oh, yeah, great. And so they did, and it was so beautiful how they implemented a lot of the notes that I had, and the collaboration was just great. And then they even like brought Haitian food on one of my scenes where I was cooking. I was just like, what? This is insane. So it was very touching and emotional at the same time to be able to represent my country in such a big scale. So.
Yes, yes. What I notice about Haitian people is that I've never met a casual Haitian person. It's not like, oh, I'm Haitian. Like, it is the biggest point of pride, which I love.
I mean, it started now. I mean, in the '90s, a lot of people were hiding, and that's, I mean, I don't want to go into, what's going on in the world too much, but, one of the reasons why I think a lot of us, especially people that are my age, are so prideful is because we've seen the reverse in the '90s, where people were even afraid to say they were Haitian and they would deny their Haitian. Is because at that time, we were considered the same thing, everybody hated us for some strange reason. I don't know why. But and I came to the States in '94. So not wanting to have that happen again where people are afraid to say who they are. I think now you have more people that are more prideful and more loud about it because, we don't want to repeat history, you know?
Yes. Was that also why you wore Haitian designers and had the Haitian flag on the red carpet?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first of all, Giovanna Louis is one of the best designers out there, period. I mean, she's dressed so many people. There are people that she's dressed that people don't even know, to the point where people are literally like copying her style, and she is so cool. I mean, it's not fun to see somebody stealing your outfits and stuff like that, but she is so talented, it's ridiculous. And I know her personally and her husband. So, a year once I finished shooting, literally, I was like, "Hey, I might need you to do this," and da 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 da. And she was like, "Absolutely!" She was so ecstatic, and she's never designed for men before. So my outfit was the first male outfit that she's ever done, which was I thought was fantastic. So and it was so timely. And I feel like God made his thing, showed off a little bit and was like, just made everything work out beautifully.
So you wrote a biography for your character. Tell us more about Liqueur.
Well, but I mean, both his parents are Haitian. His dad used to be a captain. He went to the army. That's how he met Philippine. They became friends. He's worked with Kincaid for a little bit. Once he got discharged from the army, he basically was trying to figure out ways to use his skills. He's like basically like you. Missionary kind of type of person. And so Kincaid kind of picked him up and they did a couple projects where they would go out and, collect, illegal, the baby dinosaurs or whatever. I mean, a lot of under the table, black market kind of stuff. And he created a crew and Zorro was part of it as well too. Zorro done a couple, runs with us and we're just a really tight family. And he's just like, he's the type of guy that tries not to, he works smart, not hard. And until things happen, that's when he has to step up. So, he's a fun guy, pretty chill, laid back. I wish they were extended more to see more of his character, but under pressure, if anything goes wrong, you want him on your side. Hence why, when things are happening, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I'm sure they've seen it already by then, but I sacrificed my life for the team. But yeah, that's what I added. And and I love that they had it in French, and I was thinking about throwing some Creole in there, but I specifically was like, no, let's make him just speak French. I mean, of course he knows Creole, but I wanted to just keep that for myself because I did BMF and I did Creole in that. And I was just like, I don't have a lot of things that just has me just speaking French, period. Because I really want people to start seeing the difference between Creole and French. Because a lot of people are like, is it like patois? I'm like, no, it's a totally different language. It's like Portuguese and Italian. They might sound, but they will not understand each other. So that was part of the stuff that got me excited to want to do this role.
Yes. I smell People series. I'm in it for like 2 to 3 seasons. So I'm but also I'm assuming you speak French fluently.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually my first language, and then Creole, and then English.
Oh wow, cool. That's super cool. It's funny. So I was on Reddit, which you probably avoid when like looking at character stuff. But it's funny that you're like, oh, I wish they had fleshed out Leclerc more. But people were like, yeah, I wish they had fleshed out him more. And also that his death, it's been described as like the most brutal death in the franchise, not just the movie, in the franchise, and that people actually like cried. When I saw it, I was like, so like he's just gonna come back. She's like gonna spit him up, and he's gonna like.
I'm hoping she's allergic to human flesh, and so he's just gonna regurgitate. Or, the pitch I did, I was like, look, Garrett, I have a knife in my pocket, so I take it out and I come out, and then and then I'm stuck in the island. So when you guys do the sequel, they're gonna find out I'm still there eating, all the stuff at the grocery store, and I've been just living there for however months.
Like I was like, there's still not like proof that he died.
I'll teach all the dinosaurs how to speak French, and so they all listen to me now, and I have a whole crew of them. And do you know what? It can make me turn into a villain. Now I'm mad because they left me behind, and now I send all the dinosaurs out there to go get them.
I will say, and I was just like, wait, what? They recovered a little too quickly from his death. There wasn't like, let's pour one out for the home. You're like, it was just like,
yeah, it was like, man, well. I mean, Kincaid, Ursula definitely, took a moment a little bit more than everybody else. Everybody was like, dang, we just lost some friends. Anyway, we got to go get the stuff. But he had that moment in the stairs where he was looking down. I was like, thank you for caring. Thank you for caring. But it's crazy with a franchise like that, I'm just glad that people at least resonated because I had no clue how long I was going to be in the film. I didn't know because they kept it so secret, from us. So when I got a chance to play what I had played and to suggest certain things and to add these little tiny moments that made him human, it's great that it resonated because I've gotten a lot of people, come to me and be like, "Hey, man, I wish I would have seen more," and so that says a lot because I could have easily kind of just duck down and just hide and just let the movie is what it is. But obviously, the choices and the things that I was doing resonated with folks, so
Yeah.
it's cool. It was cool.
How was it like filming in Thailand?
Oh, it was beautiful. And it was during the summer too, so it was hot. So it reminded me of Haiti as well too, because the humidity. And so you're losing weight every day for no reason, which is awesome. You're eating good food, and the food is it's non-processed, so it's like everything just is used the way it's supposed to be used. The water, the beach is like bath water, and you're like, what? And then when it rained, the rain is colder than the bath water. And so it was just like it was just magical. It was one of the most magical places. And then there's a mountain in the middle of the ocean, and there's bats, and there's all types of stuff, monkeys that come up to you and says, "What's up?" I mean, it's just like it's magical. That place is magical. We shot in Krabi, and at the same time, there were other people filming there as well too. The new Alien series was being shot there as well too. So we got to kind of cross very briefly like, oh wow, you're here too. But yeah, I would love to shoot there. And then also White Lotus was shooting there as well too.
Oh,
Um
that's crazy.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
all
yeah.
at the same
So
time.
it was crazy. It was like a Thailand, everybody had the Thailand vibe going, like, hey, this is where we're doing it. I think Gary did it because he's worked there before with the creator, but whatever the reason, everybody was shooting in Thailand that summer. And it was beautiful. It was such a great experience. Malta as well too. I never even heard of Malta until I shot this film. Malta was fantastic. It's like the whole place is like a museum. You're just afraid to touch anything because it's so historical. It's been there for God knows how long. And the food there was great, and people was great, and the tank that they created. It's the same place where they shot Gladiator as well too. Was another one. I was like, oh wow. Most of the crew from Gladiator 2 was there, and I was like, this is so crazy. It like opened my eyes to a whole different world, especially in the industry where it's like, oh, I see why people go to locations instead of just doing green screen because it does create a different feel. It does make it real for us as the performers, but also I think for the people too. My favorite comments is when people are like, "Man, that's fake," and I was like, "No, actually, no. That swamp is, yeah. We were in a mangrove. That was the mangrove. Yeah, And she's like, "Oh, something touched my leg. Yeah, it was true. Something did probably touch your leg because it was real.
Oh,
It was real,
that's
man."
that sounds so crazy and beautiful. Also, what's interesting about the Jurassic Park franchise is that it is this big franchise, this big beautiful movie, but it's also weirdly like a family franchise. Like my
Yeah.
niece saw the movie,
Oh,
it's
nice.
five. Like everyone it's very much like a family franchise, even though it's high stakes and like crazy and all of that. So
How old is your niece?
five.
Oh wow, she
Yeah,
just
yeah,
made it. All right, cool, 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 cool.
yes. So,
Because anybody younger, I think because the first I was telling my friend because they were like, oh, can my kids see it? Then they were 5, and I was like, well, the first half of it is adventure. I was like, when it gets scary, it's when they get to the convenience store. And I was like, that's probably where you might want to like ready to cover their eyes and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad that they did such a good job to include, all the ages, and the nostalgia of like, you kind of felt like you were watching the old one as well too, and you're watching these new stuff. My favorite sequence is the raft. Oh my gosh. Like every time I watch that sequence, my heart is just like I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I thought, yeah, anyway, but yeah.
yeah, it's crazy that now you are part of this franchise, which is beautiful and just great. But you're also a part of other major big franchises and shows. We saw on this current season of BMF that they brought other people back. Do you think Glock would ever come back? Would you be open to that?
Oh, I would definitely be open to that. I think Glock should have his own show, to be honest with you. They need to have the Zoes, man. That would be such a great thing to have a whole series about. And it's funny because it's during the time when I came to the States in Miami, the Zoes were popular, man, and they grew out of all the, basically oppression that they were going through. So, and it was around that time. So it'll be so awesome to bring Glock back and continue his story, because I felt like there was so much more I wanted to do. I was having too much fun. I was having too much fun. I was like, oh man, y'all picked the wrong and right person to do this.
And he didn't die, so
Yeah, no, it's still no. They told me, like, they kept him alive. They didn't give me my wings, because usually when you die in that series, apparently they give you wings and they take a picture of you and you're like, all right, I'm done. And I remember the day. I remember seeing the wings in the corner and I'm like, and then they're like, you're not getting your wings. I was like, yes. So who knows? Who knows? Hopefully they decide to do a 5 and they bring him back, and I'll be very, very happy. I already have ideas of how I would just, come back a little bit different.
that's crazy. Then we also have Diarra in Detroit, which is working on season 2. And we already
Yes.
know season 1, you played a major part in that finale. You already had a major part in the whole show, but you had a major part in the finale. What's up with season 2?
Can't say nothing, man. I can't say nothing. Can't say nothing. Sorry. Shut down. Uh-oh.
But that
Oops.
says so much that you can't say nothing, because it's not like, oh, I haven't received any emails. So that actually says everything.
No, what the thing is, it's like this show, because of the way the show started, it was such a big surprise for everybody anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the way that they're doing it now, it's like, yeah, I can't say nothing. It's always gonna be refreshing and amazing and just new. And I think I pray that, this show lasts like more than just, I hope it stays on forever, because it's definitely something new and fresh and funny and something that is needed in our community anyway. So I'm excited for everybody to, to see season 2 as well.
I am too. And now I'm even more curious. Like, you telling me nothing, like, excites me. Like, if you told me, like, oh, he's an alcoholic now, I would okay, like, whatever. But not telling me anything, I have so many ideas that I'm like chewing on. So even more excited. So I know you're into horseback riding. This is a huge passion of yours, at least that I've seen on Instagram. And one time I talked to you, you were just like, oh, this weekend I was horseback riding. I'm like, oh, that's random. But then it was just like, because I was like, maybe that means something. Like, I was just like, you just said, oh, I was with the horses. And I was like, okay. And then
It's
I was
funny
like,
because
well,
I'm with them so much that and I keep forgetting it's not the norm, because I'll be telling people, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to the ranch. And they're like, what ranch? I was like, oh, no, I'm going to just show the horses. They're like, huh? And I'm like, oh, this ain't normal.
and
I'm
that,
there. I was there yesterday. I'm gonna be there at 3 o'clock today. Like, I'm there all the time. I don't know what happened. I blame COVID. COVID introduced me to this world, and now I'm like fully immersed into it, and also to see other people, also other artists that are into it as well too. One of my really good friends, Rafael Casal, he's in low key. Me and him were, we started almost at the same time. I mean, he's written when he was a kid and everything like that, and it kind of like re-inspired his passion for it. And me and him, we've just been constantly coming up. We even have a group now called 3Cs, California Cowboy Company, 3Cs, and we do events. Literally, if you go to Instagram, you'll see all the events that we've done so far. We got one coming up for Halloween. But yeah, no, it's become like truly part of my identity, which is kind of cool, because my dad used to brag about him being a horseman, and I was just like, I was a kid, so I didn't know any better. So I was like, cars are better. What are you talking about? You're weird. And now I've literally become him. I'm like telling everybody about horses like I found Jesus. It's like, do you know about horses? Do you know about God?
It is like I won't call it random, but it was just like you're like, oh yeah, like I was on the ranch, and I'm like, okay. And then because I remember Raphael from Blind Spotting, and I'm just like, what is this thing? And then like I went to the Instagram, I'm like, oh, this is just like a huge passion. And like even especially with the whole cowboy quarter thing, like the culture has, I won't say it didn't exist before, but I feel like there's so much more of a light on
Yeah, yeah, and I
people of
definitely
color
blame
and
Beyonce for it too.
yeah.
Beyonce definitely put a lot on it because I was doing it and it was very peaceful. And now everybody and their mama calling me, "Hey man, can you take me to the horses? What's going on, man?" I'm like, thank you, Beyonce, but at the same time, it's a lot because if people don't know, about the culture, I'm just glad that people are gravitating and learning more about it, especially African Americans, because we were the original cowboys.
Yeah.
So I'm really really grateful for that, and I'm excited to hopefully do a western. That's the hope. That's the hope. That's the hope. I mean, it wasn't the goal, but now I'm like, now that I'm so ingrained into it, I'm like, oh, I need to do something. And then, not most, all of our forefathers in Haiti were horsemen. So, so horsemanship is in our DNA as well too. So I was just like, oh, okay. So maybe I'll play one of the generals or something, one of our forefathers, and then there it is. There it is,
Yeah.
full circle.
Yes. What else would you like to do next? That was going to be my question before I asked about your horseback riding.
No, I would love to do Western. I'm just putting it out there as much as I can. I'm like, Western, 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 Western. But no, I'm working on a lot of independent stuff. I shot a couple shorts and specs here and there to see, what comes of it. The Marvel thing that I shot last year, I think comes out in December. I think they made an announcement not too long ago. But I'm part of that. But I'm like, I'm in it, but I'm not like main thing. But they haven't announced my character yet, which is interesting. But but um, but yeah. So now it's just a matter of like waiting for the right projects to come in and always looking for the next thing. But a lot of it this year, next year, I feel like I'm going to be focusing on a lot of the things that I want to write, specifically about the Haitian culture and just stories that I think that are universal and people will be able to relate and laugh and just feel good stuff. And also romantic sci-fi. I'm trying to work on that as well too. So I'm basically on that, self-produced type of mindset. And if I could get in a couple cool spots, I'd be great. I heard White Lotus is going to be shooting in Paris, so I'm like, hey, y'all know I speak French, right? So so hopefully, they give me a thing out there, and anything that's cool. I've been trying to be in Lupin for the longest. So we'll see if something comes up. And yeah, I'm just taking advantage of this beautiful ride called Jurassic World and see what other rooms open up because of it, and then and be ready to be in another franchise. Who knows? Who knows? God only knows.
Yes. Well, I'm so excited for you. And the thing is, once this interview ends, like it'll pop up and it's just like, oh, White no, season 4 was leading man, yada yada yada. Like
Hey,
last
hey, let's
time,
do it. Let's go.
like I ended up talking to you, and then there's just like Jurassic Park. I'm like, okay, but
Nah,
yeah,
I love it, and I love it. I love that however, whatever. I mean, God's timing is always great. Of course, every actor wants to work all the time, but the way that he's been orchestrating my career and the path and the roles that he's allowed me to have are just great, man. And I love that. I love that. I just pop up on people and not. It's I don't know. It's more rewarding in that way when people tell me about my work than me having to tell people about my work.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? It's so much more. It's like, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. You saw it, great.
yeah, because I interviewed you about in BMF, and then
Yeah.
like I got the screeners for Diarra from Detroit, and I was like,
Wait a minute.
And then you were like, oh, I was just in that. And I was like, oh, yeah. So it's all come together. But I can't wait to talk to you again. Obviously, we're staying in touch.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, thank you. And I cannot wait for season 2 of Diarra from Detroit. I cannot wait for the spinoff of BMF that I'm just calling into existence. Sons of Anarchy did it. So,
Hey, you
yeah.
know,
Yes, congratulations on anything, on everything. Thanks so much for taking the time out and say hi to those horses for me.
I will definitely. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay, thanks. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.